Okay, so creating an eyeball. So using a sphere, change the subdivision to 10 by 10. Rotate 90 degree. Okay, we are going to make use of just one sphere, and then from here you're going to extract out a few things, and then you will have 3 objects in total. Okay. First off, I'm going to select this edge loop. This will represent the iris. Okay, so if you have your eyelid over it, then you think that this iris is too big. Okay, then you can actually use your modeling toolkit. Transform, constraint, edge light. Okay, you can play around with the size of it. Okay, but this one here, you have to do the sizing first before you continue with the next step. So let's say I'm going to keep the sizing as the default one. Okay, I'm just going to select the edge loop again. Hold on to shift, right click, detach component. Okay, so detach component, what it does is that it will split the edge out. So now you have 2 objects, okay, or 2 elements. Next, I'm going to pull out the center vertex. Okay, now if I'm going to smooth it, you can see that this is going to be a bit more convex. Okay, but it's a bit too sharp, so I'm going to add one more edge in between. Okay, very sharp. I'm going to pull it out and scale it up. Okay, so just imagine that this character, our eyeball, there's a contact lens. Okay, something like that. Okay, because our eyeball, the iris area there, right, is not totally curved one. It's actually a bit convex. Okay, next, using the same object, okay, or the same element, what we're going to do is hold on to shift, right click, duplicate face. When we duplicate face, those faces that we selected are duplicated. I'm going to center pivot. Next thing I'm going to do is to actually rotate it 180 degree, which means I'm going to flip it. 180, flip it, and then turn on the transparency. Now I'm going to push this inside. So I'm trying to match as close as possible. I can use the snap tool, of course. I'm going to vertex mode, selecting the center vertex, using bevel. Excuse me. Face, and then the center face, I'm going to delete it. Okay, something extra you can do is you select the border here and extrude it in. Okay, so what's going to happen for that model is that this is actually the iris itself. Okay, the hole here, right, this one here is actually black in color. So this whole model here, I'm going to flip. Okay, reverse it. Going to apply a new material, blend. Let's change the color. Okay, let's change to green. Okay, a bit too green already, so maybe adjust the color a little bit. Okay, isolate display, turn off. Okay, then don't forget about this model here. I'm going to apply a new material, and this one will be white. Okay, and the last one, I'll apply another material, but this one I'll be applying foam. Okay, transparency. Play around with the cosine power and specular color. Reflectivity down to 0. Now if I smooth everything, okay, if you look carefully on the screen, you'll see how the light reacts to the model. Okay, each one of these objects is reacting differently to the light. Okay, so if you have them all together, combine them. Okay, that's how you can create that interesting looking eyeball with the highlight. Okay, so if you want to spend a bit more effort, want to make the eyes more interesting, right? Later when you unwrap your eyeball and do the texturing, you can do all the pattern inside the iris. Okay, then add a bit of pink or blood into the eye white. Okay, if the character is very old, maybe got some blood veins or blood vessels around the eyeball itself.